Greetings everyone, my name is Angelyn Junny with metric number 78834. We represent the task 1, which is the suggestion and design for the network components for tree office. This organization will only subscribe one internet gateway to the tree office. The one from the organization XYZ will send the internet to the ISP. The one from ISP will send separately to the tree office using the network connector. It will access the networks that contain the appropriate tools and also enable them to connect to the internet. In Office Site A, there are two switches that are connected. The first one, they are located next to the meeting room, which is it connects to the router for the meeting room. The second one, to the manager's room and the printer. Also, the switch will connect to the tree executive's room. The next switch will be placed beside the stationary employee work area. It will link to the device at the stationary employee work area. Also, it will connect to the router to give the Wi-Fi access for the open area for mobile employee. Finally, it will connect to the printer. For Office Site B, also two switches are connected. The first one are located in the meeting room. It will connect to the router to give the Wi-Fi access to the meeting room. Then it will connect to the front desk at the counter. Then it will connect to the device at the stationary employee work area. After that, the next cable will be linked to the printer. The second switch will be located in the stationary employee work area. It will connect to this router for Wi-Fi access for the mobile employees. The next one, it will connect to two executive's room and also to the manager's room. And finally, for the Office Site C, there will be only one switch will be placed in this area. It will connect to the device in the stationary employee work area at the office space 1. And then it will connect to the stationary secretary desk and it will link to the CEO's room. And then the switch will be connected to the router and will be connected again to the switches to give the link to the device at the stationary employee work area.
Hi, my name is Ong Sen Kai and my metric number is X0929. I'm going to give the presentation about network component and transmission media. The first item is the switch. The switch that we suggest to the organization is FFF4 GB Smart Managed Switch. And it costs 301 ringgit per unit, and we need 10 on that. It delivers compact, cost-effective solution for mid-sized organizations. And the next item is cable. The cable that we suggest to the organization is CBBR7492 networking cable. It costs 600 plus ringgit per unit, and we need 4 of them because this product has good cost effectiveness because it has a 305 meter length and copper conductor. Next is router. We suggest 3 NetGuard 9 hop smart router, which costs 303 ringgit per unit, and it allows up to 25 Wi-Fi enabled devices to connect at speed of up to 1.75 GB per second. Next, we are choosing NetPoint 12 Youth Deluxe IT Server Rack as the server rack of the organization, which costs 1,600 ringgit per unit, and we need 2 of them. Next, the Power XR650XX server is the 1U server that we choose for organization, and it supports up to 32 core per CPU and provide appealing performance, high-speed memory, and capacity. Next, we choose the Unify as the internet service provider, and the price is 300 ringgit per month, which is the package that provides up to 500 megabyte per second download speeds. And the last is the firewall server, which is 40 get 200E firewalls, which cost nearly 13,000 ringgit per unit. And the reason we choose this is because it has gained popularity among cooperation and mid-sized organizations, and it also one of the best firewall server in worldwide. Next is topology. The topology that we suggest is star topology, which is very common in the business organization where the excellent network performance is required, and it also very reliable and simple to install, and most importantly, the star topology has a high level of robustness. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is FELSIE, FLORINE, and JACKRY. My metric number is 79432. I will explain about task 2, which is suggest and explain where the web and file server be located and how to ensure the optimum performance of both servers in serving their functions. First of all, file server is a computer or device that is responsible for the central storage and management of data file. Thus, other devices on the same network can access it. File server is mainly to store and share files and documents. When the file server is connected to the internet, authorized employee or client can access the file anywhere and anytime they want. Hence, we decide to locate one server in each stationary employee work area for Office A, Office B, and Office C. The reason of our answer is because if we locate one file server in each stationary employee work area, it will be peer-to-peer networking, which is computer will share equivalent management for handling data. Peer-to-peer network devices are regularly situated physically near one another, typically in a small business, which fitting with the location of each computer in each employee work area. The location of the file server is convenient for file sharing remotely without employee or client to transmit it using removable storage devices such as flash drive. It gives advantages to both computers and file server, which if one device crashes, the network continues, which strengthens the file server security. Web server is software and hardware that uses Hypertext Transfer Protocol (HTTP) and other protocols to respond to client requests made over the World Wide Web (WWW). It mainly used to store website files and transmit them over the internet upon the request of a browser's visitor. As for the location of the web server, we decide to locate the web server in between the switch and router in Office A, Office B, and Office C. Router is needed to connect multiple networks, also allows network devices to access the internet along with connecting the business to the world. Also protects information from security threats. This validates that web server hardware needs to connect to the internet to allow data to be exchanged with other connected devices such as computers in the offices. Then switch responsible to connecting all devices such as printers, computers, and server, whereby give opportunity to all the devices communicate and share information. For example, switches up to 128 ports generally used for a large grouping in an office, which suitable for Office A. They have the most employee which can connect all the computers, printers, and most importantly, the web server. On top of that, there are few ways to ensure optimum performance of file server in serving its function. Firstly, maintain a strict permission policy. Permission policy used to determine how deep employees and clients can access an existing file folder in the file server. Hence, user can only have full access to create new files in the file server only, but need permission from creator of the files before editing, viewing, and deleting any existing files. Secondly, establish a regular backup strategy. Establish a database backup is to avoid any losing important works due to server failure. Lastly, group the files wisely. Files grouping collectively with files permission and access management. This work cross-access strategy allows only users that need to access those files to work with it. Therefore, information and confidential files can be scheduled from the other server's content despite their originate group. Along with it, there are also a few ways to ensure optimal performance of web server. First, remove unnecessary services. The more services installed and running in the server operating system can open extra port into the network that a hacker able to exploit. Next, conduct dependency check. Dependency check is used to gain insight of the server interaction with other components. Finally, maintain scheduled updates and backups. It is crucial to check for web application updates to avoid software expose. Security and software updates such as control panel should not be ignored because it should be able to run as soon as they are needed, especially if it is crucial.
Hi, my name is Geraldine RITCHELLE with my metric number is 77999. In this video, I will be explaining for task 3. First external intruder here is from the unauthorized network access. To protect the network, it is recommended to use multi-factor authentication as it provided complexity of authentication and improves security by forcing the attacker to not crack the password. Second external intruder here is from the illegal file server, and to avoid this, we could centralize management of permission with this IT department combine and store all the data in one location. Last but not least, attack from DOS or denial of service could be solved by adding leverage the cloud to prevent it. This is because cloud has more capacity than the other private network.
My name is ADDELIA SHAINA ANAK AUGUSTINE LUBON and my matrix number is 77733. I will explain about task 4, which is suggestion and explanation on how the control of Facebook access. Handling employee usage of Facebook in the workplace can have a long-term impact on how the company utilizes social networking, except for a few workers who are permitted to do so. General employees are not allowed to browse Facebook during office hours. The primary reason why companies decide to restrict employees' access to social media platforms while they are on the clock is to cut down on distractions. The use of social media has the potential to be addictive and time-consuming. The company can do the scheduling timings for accessing Facebook by setting during breaks. Whenever an employee spends time during office hours on Facebook, they need to meet them and give some warnings as a reminder. It is because the overuse of social media websites by employees can easily lead to the loss of several hours of productive time. The company needs to remind them as what they do are wrongs and can affect the company itself. Furthermore, monitoring the usage of computers by employees while they are on the job can be an efficient way to ensure that workers are concentrating on work-related activities. Most companies are able to monitor and access everything that company do when using a corporate computer. It is completely legal for the company as the owner of a business to monitor the activities of the employees when those employees are utilizing equipment that is owned by the business. When companies provide their employees unrestricted access to social media platforms, they leave themselves exposed to network security breach. Next, a company policy that prohibits using Facebook during normal business hours needs to be created. Employees need to be aware that they should not publish any unfavorable comments about their clients or employees online. This tendency can be stopped in each track if a social networking policy is implemented in the workplace that restricts employees from posting on topics connected to their place of employment and restrict any negative statements made by disgruntled employees. Thank you.